Hey, this is Curly Pixels here, and I'm just letting y'all know that this is my review of Attack on Titans, and I'm just gonna go over basically through the gameplay, the cons and the pros of the game. First, I'm gonna start with the gameplay. In my opinion, the gameplay is fun and fast. It's just, to me, it feels like you're actually in the world of the anime, and that's what I like about it the most. It's just you're just going in, and it's just like how Eren Yeager and Mikasa, Ackerman, and Armin all kind of just went in there and just kind of use their gear and kind of move around. It's fast. You see behind me, I'm fighting the female Titan. As you can tell, the movement's pretty fast, and it's getting around is pretty easy as well. And that's what I like about it the most. Is just, I thought it'd be a lot more complicated. Like, you have to press certain buttons to get on the right side and the left side. But I noticed strictly if you just pressing X just gets you there. But I do have to say that it is fast and it's just fun, and it feels like a Spider-Man. It's more like a Spider-Man game than you really think it is. And then I like how, because it's smooth, so you can, like, when you're riding, you can kind of feel it. And I feel like that's what they're aiming for, is to get that smooth feel where you're not kind of stuck in between. You do have some issues, such as it's auto locking to the wrong thing. And with that, it's kind of counterintuitive that they want you to kind of switch between each over and over again, because sometimes you have to bump in and back out. I'm pretty sure you're seeing it in the gameplay now, as they're bumping in and backing out, and you have to make sure you're swapping to the right one. Other than that, it's pretty smooth. You can get in there and get out and just cut up the Titans as much as you want. It also feels like I said, like it was in the show. Like when you watch the show, this is how you feel like it would be. But obviously it's not in real life, because we would get mutilated in like 2 seconds, because our bodies would be ripped in half. But you know what I mean? Like, you can kind of just feel the power, the strength, and all that cool stuff. Like, I don't know, when he forces and then you play as Levi, you do that cool thing where he does that super 360 spin, and then he cuts his head and neck off, the nape of the neck. It's pretty legit. I do have to say that's pretty good. Now, when it comes down to the cons of the game, there are not too many cons. It does have a short campaign. It follows a story. Obviously, that's gonna be the whole premise of the game. Is just the story is gonna be short, but it also doesn't give the feel of to me, it doesn't give me the feels as the TV show did. Obviously, because it's not going in depth with each scene. Each scene's about 2-3 minutes or so, and it's just like a short kind of story. It's nothing like too like Omega big and Omega strong and all that. I say give it a shot if you've never watched the show. I would recommend this totally to people who are fans of the show. I wouldn't necessarily fans of like video game. Like, if you play, how you play games, and you rather play games than watch the anime, or if you never watched the anime, I'd say if you've never really watched an anime before, this would be a good one to start on. Just kind of play the game and get the feel for it, and then watch the anime, or watch the anime first and then play the game. I think you'll like it either way. Some other cons is it is repetitive. Most of the multiplayer is super duper repetitive, but that's not really something you can really help. It's when you're killing Titans and Titans only. You're not really fighting humans. The boss fights are pretty simple, but not hard. You have to cut them apart multiple times, chop, chop, chop. You play as Armin. Armin has certain abilities and stuff like that to make it a little bit easier to chop down, but we'll get to that next. But another thing with the repetitiveness is most missions are kind of the same map, so you kind of get used to the map layout, and I noticed that does get repetitive. But if you love the game for what it is, I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy it either way. Like, I went in there and I was like, oh, it's pretty repetitive. But I sat there and was like, okay, you know what? This is actually pretty fun. Like, I don't care, but I just like killing Titans. You can ask all my friends. Just killing Titans is like the best thing, because you go in, and get out. And I want to go back to the characters. That's a cool thing to talk about, is what the character abilities do into the game. Like, Eren has the ability to transform into Titan. Obviously, that was kind of, the big thing about it. He also has the ability to where he's kind of, I could say he's not really control the group when you play as him, so nobody really listens to you. So when you try to chop, they don't kind of chop with you. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And then it also comes down to the part where Armin, I was telling you about him earlier, he has an ability where if you press B or circle if you're a PlayStation fan, you press that and he'll go automatically down and he'll send all of his crew. Like if you miss a cut, they'll cut for you just in case. Or if you don't want to bother with the Titan, you aim at it, press B, let him cut it in half, go to the other Titan, cut him, so you can cut 2 Titans pretty much at the same time, so you're not over full with a whole bunch of characters. And the same, like Mikasa, she has the ability to do like extra damage from top when you go on top of the Titan and downwards. Aaron has that ability too, and I think Armin does too, but I don't really know because I don't play as Armin as much. But I know what's his name, Levi and all them, they also have that ability. Levi has also an extra damage ability, which I do like, is where he spins, like I said earlier, like a 360, and his typical cut that everyone loves, all the fangirls do, and you cut up, and it's just really, really neat how they implement that. It does sometimes when it comes down to the character plays, if you dash while going forward, it does mess it up with Levi. And up to me, I think dashing's better because you can dash in, dash out, and dash in, dash out over and over again, and just start chopping pieces off. It makes it a little bit easier that way. Also with that, I wish it'd be longer campaign due to, it's just too short. I beat it within 7 hours. The end content's pretty neat. I do like that. You can kind of play the game you can replay the entire story, which I think is pretty neat. Or let's say if you like the mission where you hunt down the female Titan, you actually can replay that. I think that's pretty neat. And you can play with better gear, so you can retry to beat your score that you played it last time, which I think it does have replayability with that one kind of thing where it makes you kind of want to beat your score. Like if I got like an A, B, and an A, and I want all 3 S's, I can go back and get those S's to make it perfect 100, good to go and solid ranks. And the cool thing about that as well is you have survey exploration. With the exploration, you can actually do certain things like it's like you know how they do the survey corps, they go outside the walls and they search around. You can kind of do the same thing. And it adds challenges. You have survey more. I think you have survey, and then you have expeditions. Expeditions where you do 3 missions, but you can stop in between and do like, you can stop one and then you can do something else, or keep doing all 3 and complete it and get some extra gear. I like doing that, and those help you out get extra stuff. And also when you do character requests, which is you'll need to do after end game, you get some extra gear and stuff like that. I want to unlock more gear. I do like the Japanese blades that I'm using. I guess some people say is Sephiroth's blade, but I'm not a big fantasy fan. I have seen it before, and it does kind of look like it, so I can't disagree. But if I had to give a rating towards the game, I would probably just give it I'd say an 8 out of 10. The reason why is because I just can't put it down. I like it a lot, and it's just something I can't stop talking about because I don't know, it kept me playing. It didn't make me stop, didn't make me want to stop, it made me want to keep playing. And I think that's what you should look into towards the game, especially if you like the anime. I feel like it's mostly for the passionate fans, like I said earlier. If you're a passionate fan, I'm pretty sure everybody will give it a 10 out of 10. But I don't want to give it that perspective. I know IGN gave it, I think, a 7 out of 10. And I think that's fair. They're fair judgment. But to me, I think its repetitiveness is kind of a given. Like, you shouldn't bash it for, that's what's going to happen. But the boss fights are pretty interesting, and I think the female Titan boss fight's pretty interesting. The whole story retaken in that game is pretty neat, and it's a whole new take, and it's something you should try out. I always think it's a good thing to try out, and I hope you enjoyed the review. If you want more, just let me know in the comments. If you like it, let me know in the comments. I'm always going to try to do videos like this. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope y'all had fun. Well, thank you for listening, and hope you have a great day.